Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas.
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira.
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it.
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Champions.
Good afternoon for another lunchtime special. Arsenal Lounge transfer news. Weren't expected to do one so soon, but you know what? We're back here, and I hope you're going to join us. We'll do the intros, let people come in. If you're doing a little shady thing at lunchtime or you're at work, happy to see you. Already seeing some people in here. Fitz, Josh, Balaji, Batonian. There's a few of you in here. But before we sort of crack on, Shaheen, how you doing, bro?
I'm very good, man. Not bad. Yourself? How's things?
Well, interesting developments since our show yesterday. We did one yesterday, based purely around the transfer news. Our tone yesterday was more so about the fact that we, as a fan base, seem to be getting extremely excited on socials and all of that. Lots of people putting out their new prospective first 11s for the 22 season. You know, every single one that I saw up until today had Raphinia in there. People were claiming that this could be one of, or some were even claiming this was one of our best windows, just based on hearsay and transfer rumours. Now, so today, or last night after our show, just about an hour after our show, I think I remember texting you, Shaheen. Raphinha was announced at Chelsea. No rumours about Chelsea prior to it, really. Bang! Raphinha in, looks like they're getting Sterling as well. And this is what we were talking about. And, you know, some people claim us to be negative and all that. We're not. We want our team to do well. But the truth is, rumours do not make transfer signings. They don't make signings. And I see Batonian said Raphinha wasn't a rumour. We bid for him. But the fact that it was a done deal was the rumour, wasn't it? It was all done. It was all happening, etc. So it's been interesting to see people's responses. A lot of the people that were saying, "Oh, can't wait to get Raphinha," are now backtracking and turning around and saying, "He weren't good enough. If he doesn't want to come to us anyway, then let him go." Well, you know, I don't understand that mentality. I'm also under the mindset, in the mindset that he wasn't really someone that I had looked at the start of the window or when the season ended, thinking we needed to get another winger because he plays in Saka's position. But look, we've gone for him. If you're going to go for him and you genuinely want him, get him. We've had enough opportunity. But what's your take on this, Shaheen? It looks like it's going Chelsea. It's not confirmed yet, but it looks like
it. It's not obviously confirmed. But first of all, there's a lot of accounts on Twitter and social media that are going to end up looking silly as a result of this. And this is a prime example of when you're tweeting other people's tweet or you're putting out other people's information as if it's yours or you know or you're in the know kind of thing. And then boom, something like this happened and you all look silly. The amount of people that I've seen, class of 2002, you know, Martinelli, Gabriel, Raphinha, and all of that rubbish. Just wait and see what happens before you start saying. And people were so sure that this is getting done. He's taken everybody was surprised. He's a good player. You're right. It was not something that we all thought Arsenal would be out to get when the season. And his name was always mentioned, and he was a nice signing because he's a quality player. But I question, were we really in for him, kind of thing?
Well, you question that a lot every time we lose out.
No, because I look at things, right, and listen, if we're in negotiation with Leeds about Raphinha, they would tell you there is other bids on the table of X and Y, Z price. Okay, so then you would increase your bid, right, to what is being asked for, or you adapt to the situation. Now, in this case, had Arsenal been told about this, they would have known that there is higher bid and they would increase their bid. Okay. If they really wanted the player. And I see all of these things about people say, if he doesn't want to come here, then fine, let's not have him. These are the same people that they were, as you'd say, they were knocking one out over Raphinha, a couple of
There's
days
only one
ago.
in the afternoon, Shaheen. Give me a chance. Yeah,
Yeah,
what you say.
it's reality, man. And now that he's going to Chelsea, apparently they're like, oh, so what? If he doesn't want to be here, but you need to understand, Chelsea offer more in terms of financial, in terms of Champions League football, in terms of the squad. Now, if they get Sterling as well, right? Chelsea front three will be Raphinha, Sterling, and Kai Havertz. That's a really good strike force. Tottenham will be Kane, Song, Kulusevski probably, or Richarlison, right? Man City are going to have a Haaland playing up front. Liverpool signed Darwin Núñez. So that's already 4 teams that will have, and then we've got Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah, right? So that's already 4 teams.
We got Saka out wide though, haven't we? And
that will potentially, these are 4 teams that will score more goals than you. So already top 4 is going to be an issue, right? So, but anyway, going back to the discussion, listen, you said it earlier, if you want a player, just go out there, pay what they want and get the player.
Yeah, that's it.
As I said, I don't know the details. These are all private conversation. I'm just assuming, because for me, naturally, I'm thinking if you was negotiating with an entity to buy something, right, and there are other people interested, everybody knew about Barcelona's interest, right? So Arsenal would have been told that there is a third party coming in with this amount, right? And if you really want him, go and get him, because now it looks like that Chelsea have basically pipped us with a transfer, and now everybody's talking about, so who are we going to get as a replacement? But that out wide position on the right hand side, I don't really see that as a problematic position and one that needs to be addressed now. I'm still looking at a backup left back. I'm looking at Thomas Partey's backup or a replacement as priority than that right hand side. So yeah, this is my position. And you say every time when we go for a player, I'll question it. It's the same thing with Vlahovic. Yeah. I still maintain that we were never really in for him.
Well, look, my problem is this, right? And this, I'll say it how it is. I don't.
Can I just sorry, Lev, can I just add something else? I forgot to say this.
Yeah, go on.
It's very convenient, right, for the club to throw in names like Raphinia, like Vlahovic, that we're in for them, we're negotiating. Because if you notice, nobody is criticizing Arteta, Edu, the board, the negotiation, nothing. Full of praise. Edu is working wonders. So he's keeping the fan base off of their back with the news that we're in for Raphinha, we're in for X, we're in for Y, we're negotiating and all of this. So it's very convenient for all of these to happen. And remember, Arsenal are extremely good at this. The PR machine in Arsenal is world class. Sorry, carry on.
No, that's fine. That's a valid point. Look, this is where I was going to go with this, right? I'm not going to sit here and pretend, I always wanted Raphinha. I'm not one of those guys, neither are you. We like to try and keep it real on this channel, right? So, for me, I would have much rather heard that they were going to address the 2 centre midfield issues in the sense of a Partey cover in Bissouma, or someone like Bissouma. Let's not get stuck on the Bissouma name, because finding a quality DM, it's not as difficult for me. You just need somebody to do a very, very good job, right? However, then go and get yourself a Tielemans, a box-to-box. That would have made me feel more comfortable. But what we've been hearing so far are players that we weren't expecting. Now, this is where I'm at with it. Okay, I wasn't expecting Raphinha, and I would have been just as happy or happier to hear we've got 2 centre midfield targets, 1 to cover Partey, 1 to be a Tielemans type. I wouldn't have been even looking at the point of Raphinha. All right, that's the main thing. However, once you go in for somebody like Raphinha and you decide you're going to go for him, get him. Now, at the end of the day, it's something that you're sending out as a message. Now, look at it this way. We chose not to go in January to strengthen, right? We had Champions League in our hands and we chose to stick to our plan and not strengthen, which inevitably costs you top 4, right? Fine. We're over that now. We've said, okay, we're pissed about it, but let's move on from it. We're going into this new window. We're waiting. we're looking at it, and some names start coming out. Now, the first thing that annoyed us all was the DM that we all thought would be ideal. We didn't go for him. We heard Tielemans was number one priority, right? Then we're questioning that because Tielemans is not really a cover for Partey. He's more of a box-to-box. So we're looking around, and we're still waiting for this cover for Partey. They give El Neni a new contract. Xhaka's still at the club. Now, rumours are, Tielemans is called. Now, I don't want to be a hypocrite saying rumours don't make transfer windows, but these are the rumours that are out there, right? The Tielemans thing was called. Then Raphinha and Martinez come to the forefront. All over socials, Raphinia and Jesus and Martinelli shaking hands, welcoming each other. Oh, Gabriel, all Brazilian connection. Now, this is my problem. You chose not to strengthen in Jan, which means that the buck stops with you as to why we're not in the Champions League. You must know when you're going into this transfer window that there's teams above you and around you that have Champions League to offer. That this is my bugbear here. There's many people on socials going, oh, we don't want to overpay, etc., etc. Get that as well. Don't overpay. However, you want quality and you've got nothing else to offer but a project and some Europa football, and you want the quality these teams around you with Champions League are going for, then you're going to have to accept that you've got to find some other way of enticing these guys in without Champions League football. You've done it with Jesus. Well done. If you're serious about Raphinha, you might be paying a little bit over the odds, but I'm not being silly. If you want quality to take you to the next levels, Chelsea have Champions League and they're paying this money. We don't have Champions League, right? So if you're going to go for a player, like you rightly said, there was rumours about him at Barca, etc. If you're going to strike hard, strike fast. Now, some people say low balling is the negotiation tactics that everybody uses. Maybe, but there's low balling and there's low balling, right? Now, when another team like Chelsea have come in, it's got done. The deal's got done. And my concern is time wasted on targets that we shouldn't really be looking at in that case. If you've got a budget, go and spend that budget on players that you need to address the issues of the squad. And this is my concern. We're wasting time. We're still lowballing. And we're still missing targets at the last minute. Same thing happened with Vlahovic. Now it's happening here. Wayne Sage, sorry, bro, I was on a rant. What's up with early times, G's? If you followed what Fabrizio was saying, Arsenal wasn't willing to go 65 million. I have no issue with that. He'd be a bonus, not a priority. Wayne, maybe that's the case. 65 mil. Then don't waste time on it. Don't waste time on it. Find players that are going to address your immediate issues. Saka plays on the left. No, Saka plays on the right, sorry. So does Raphinha. Where does Saka play if Raphinha comes in? All right, yes, we're going to rotate and all that. Is he planning on playing Saka on the left? Perhaps they don't, think Saka's going to stay long term. What's the reason for looking and spending so much time there when you could be finding the players that you need, or wasting time could end up with other players being bought that we would have needed and required? Shaheen.
Yeah, that's the spot on left, because as we speak, so today is what, 29th of June at 1:30,
yep.
1:20, right? At this minute, we're starting the season with the same midfield that we ended the season with. Well, except Thomas Partey, he's going to probably come in for El Neni. But the midfield is going to be Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, right? And there's been no improvement. There's been no upgrade on that. Everybody agrees that in order for us to progress and really challenge the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City, you need to have a decent midfield. So you need to have an upgrade on Granit Xhaka. You need to have a really good, strong firepower, strike force. Right now, we don't have any of these. And people talking about Raphinha, yes, Raphinha, let him go to, if he wants to go, let him go. If he doesn't want to be here, this and that. So there is a lot of time left. I hear that, right? But not a lot of right rumours, if you like.
Yeah, well, look, there's teams out there that are going to nab the players that we want. If we keep, for example, Tielemans, if we keep messing around with the Tielemans thing, someone else could come in and get him. There's players out there that we need. We can't be affording to waste time and letting the bigger clubs come in with more clout, with more trophies to play for, like Champions League. You can't go in and lowball. You can't.
I think Tielemans one is one of those that I think Arsenal will leave it till very last minute.
Arteta style. Last minute signing.
to possibly get a less price. But the problem with that is exactly like what's happened with Raphinha. If somebody comes in now and tells Leicester, like, how much you want for him, because the rumours that the price that was going around was about 25 million. So if somebody comes in now and says, right, Tielemans, 25 million, here we go, Leicester, thank you very much, bid accepted, he will move on, you're fucked. You let your target leave in the hope that you stay, and then you penny pinch. And then even if you do that, how many times we've always left things last minute, and then the selling club has turned around and say, we don't really have time now to find a replacement, so we can't sell him. We'd rather keep him for another year, let him run down the contract. Maybe we can convince him to sign the new contract during the year. All of that because you've left it.
There's a lot of questions in the chat. Lynn, I see yours. Again, thank you for joining us. You was here yesterday. You're regular. Thank you. Listen, we'll address any questions with about 15 minutes to go. So if you have them, please save them towards the end so we can answer them. I do like your question, Lynn. Would you keep it rolling and I'll come back to it. Wayne he's forced me into reading his comment with a lovely bit of support with another super chat. But guys, we have signed 3 players in pre-season as it started. A little early to be worried. They've put in a bid for Lisandro Martinez. They're not focusing on just one track. I agree, Wayne. I'm not saying they are. But at the same time, there's teams out there with more pull than us right now. So, you know, you could sit there saying,
Wayne, out of these 3 players that you're talking about, one of them is a Brazilian kid.
Yeah.
One of them is a backup keeper.
Yeah.
Right? And the other one is a very young guy who's come out of the Portuguese league, who's unproven. Let's say
Jesus as well.
Yeah, but we haven't announced him, so I'm gonna leave that for now.
Well,
so these are the 3 players that he's talking about. I hardly see any of them improve us greatly.
There's people in there saying Lisandro is not good enough. Please don't say that because you don't know that. You don't know that. He looks a quality player, plays for Argentina's international team. He does look a quality player. We're not the only club in for him. There's United are looking at him. A few are looking at him. Another one that, you know, if we take our time with, it potentially could go wrong. But if we always thought that he was a little bit pricey for his talent, would you not have preferred Shaheen? We spent time looking 55 million's worth or something like that for another striker.
100%.
Listen, I personally would have been happier not looking for another winger. People saying we need another winger because Pepe's going out. Well, we've got players that can play wide, right? And we've just brought in another AM in Vieira who could play wide. So at the end of the day, look at Mazza Chaza.
Wait.
Yeah, go on, good. Mazza Chaza. Worst channel out there.
What? So why are you watching, brother? Why are you here if it's the worst channel?
Don't be sexist. You don't know if it's a brother or not, right? So
yeah, but I said this yesterday.
Let him have his opinion. Who cares?
No, I said this yesterday. I said if we don't sign a quality winger, it's not end of the world. We can manage that, right? But if Thomas Partey gets injured, it is a big problem. If Kieran gets injured, it is a big problem. You've seen this. We've seen this. The run-in we had end of season was severely affected because of the absence of Thomas Partey and Kieran. So this needs to be addressed first. And if there is any money left over, and if there is any player out there that they can get in as a wide right, then fine. You know, let's go for it and let's get the player in. But it's not end of the world if we don't find or sign, a wide right-hand side player.
Listen, this is it. Some people are saying, love that. Some people are saying we don't need a winger, and some people are saying we do need a winger, right? But the one thing I will say is we've got Vieira in. He plays in an AM position. He can play out wide, and he can play in a 10. You've got Smith Rowe who can play out wide. He can play in a 10. You've got Martinelli who could play central, he could play out wide. So I'm not saying I wouldn't have loved Raphinha. Of course I would. I want my team to be full of quality. But if you have a budget, then think about where you're spending it. Because at the end of the day, we could have, it's okay to get by with a second choice centre forward, third choice in my opinion, centre forward in Nketiah as your backup to your main striker. But apparently we need Raphinha for Saka. So if you're going to waste time and you have a budget, go and find players that you need. For me, I would have rather spent time getting 2 central midfielders, go and address the Tierney issue that you have in case he gets injured.
Striker. I think strikers is still people are thinking we've signed Gabriel Jesus, problem solved. No,
it's not.
I don't see either him or Nketiah scoring anything more than 12 to 15 goals a season. Nketiah less than that even.
Exactly.
So still, because there will be times that, any player in any position will go through times that they will go through bad form. They may pick up an injury. So many things, right? And then you need to look at it and think, what's your alternative that can come in? And in our case, it's not really great. People will talk about Man City or Liverpool, but Man City and Liverpool have got so much quality players on the width of wide positions that they don't necessarily rely on a striker.
And Liverpool don't.
Our ratios,
they do good business.
Yeah, and listen, the number of goals that was scored from wide positions for Arsenal last season, nowhere near good enough. Midfield, nowhere near good enough. We're relying heavily on a striker. Liverpool, Salah got you goals, Mane got you goals, Jota got you goals. 3 players. Man City, De Bruyne will get you goals. Sterling will get you goals. Mahrez will get you goals. Jesus get you goals. All of those put together will see you through. Son will get you goals. Kane will get you goals. Kulusevski came in on January. He scored a few goals. But us at Arsenal, no. So this is another issue that needs to be addressed.
Well, what my thing is I want to know what our game plan is, what we are addressing, because from the outside we think we need a left back cover, we need a partey cover, we need a box to box midfielder, and we need a centre back. Some would even argue we need a right back cover for Cedric, because instead of Cedric, should I say, because he was woeful last season, right? So there's loads of issues there that we need addressing. But we seem to be doing this thing that Arsenal do, which is they get, and this is why the title was, Rumours don't get you signings. It doesn't sort your transfer window out, basically, signings do. Because historically, Arsenal have had this throughout season upon season. Listing the names, all you guys in the chat, how many people we were linked with that never transpired, that were top notch. I'd love to see. I mean, Benzema comes to mind every season. Benzema was coming to Arsenal. Never happened. Do you remember that, Shaheen? Who else were we linked with? Never happened. Draxler coming to Arsenal. Never happened.
Wassim Owa.
Yeah, Wassim Owa never happened. I mean, there's loads. I'm sure there's loads of others. It's almost like we get linked with names every summer that we have either no intention of signing or we're just not going in hardcore enough to do it. If you don't have Champions League to offer, then offer something else. And the only thing we can offer is playing for a massive club like Arsenal, the process, the project itself, and money. Simple. They're the only 3 things you can offer. And then you've got someone down the road that can offer you Champions League football. You can't mess around. Higuain's another one. Higuain.
Yeah.
How long was... Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is that is really interesting to know right now, is how much Arsenal actually got to spend. It's all well and good sitting here thinking, right, let's get, Tielemans, let's get Martinez, let's get Raphinia, let's get a world-class winger, let's get this, let's get that. Salary-wise, I think we're okay because they got rid of a lot of high earners.
Yeah.
But maybe the issue is we don't have money to spend as much as people think we do.
Don't you?
We already spent 35 on Vieira, 3 on Marquinhos, that's what, 38. So plus 45 on Jesus.
Yeah.
That's almost £100 million.
Okay, but then you're going to have some going out, aren't you?
Well, who's got value that can go out? Nicolas Pepe is the only one that has got any value that can be sold.
The Torreira's
but I don't think that he will fetch a lot of money. Bernd Leno, last year contract.
Torreira's 15 million.
Huh?
Torreira's worth 15 million euros, apparently.
Yeah, who's going to come and pay 15 million?
We got 10 million euros for Guendouzi.
Do you know what, Lev? You talk about that, yeah? people talk about Thomas Partey, this, that, the other, right? We actually do have a replacement or a substitute for Thomas Partey in Lucas Torreira. But we can't seem to make it work. I don't know why. And remember, when he came to Arsenal, before Emery started to play him up front, he was decent as a defensive midfielder, man.
I would prefer him to back up over Xhaka and Elneny if he was playing more regular, but he's not. Maximus has made a massive point, Shaheen, in comparison to in response to your money situation. We've been the top spenders last 2 seasons in this league, in this country.
No, yeah, exactly. And that's, another thing is, I didn't want to go into this, but now that he's said it and you're saying it, is that again, you've got to look at the recruitment team that you've spent so much money. I mean, we're talking about £500 million potentially by end of the window. £500 million, and you still can't get top 4. You still get knocked out of the FA Cup first round. No European League. Sorry, no European Cup. No European football. All of these things, and you're spending that sort of money. It's not acceptable.
Look, I don't want this to be an Arsenal bashing series, because it's not. I think what we're trying to get across, and let's make this clear, is that we have seen many times over the years this club not address the actual issues it has within its squad, right? And either spend it badly elsewhere or make the wrong decisions, right? This is our chance. Look, I'll be honest with you. I think we've got a good nucleus. I really do. I think we've got a good nucleus with the addition of a couple of players, and it's the spine for me that's not strong enough. With the introduction of Saliba coming back, right? I think our central sort of centre back position will be sorted. I do think we're lacking in central midfield, and I do think we're lacking in centre forward. So what we want to do, our club do, is identify these problems and say, right, if Partey gets injured, much like last season, let's not take a risk. At this stage, we are in exactly the same position when it comes to centre midfield as we were last season. So far, people are saying, "Oh, it's early, take your time," but before you know it, we'll be in pre-season. We are in pre-season now. Arsenal started pre-season early this season. Then we'll be going off to play these silly little nonsense cups that no one really cares about, and we need to gel these guys in. It's as simple as that. And centre midfield is not a position where you just throw someone in after a week or two. Yeah, SK hit another point. Not signing Bruno in January cost us top 4. So if you want to make up for it now, address the problems now. And this centre midfield area is driving me insane. It's been driving me insane for about 15 years, Shaheen. Like, how many times did we say Vieira's not been replaced? Vieira's not been replaced. And it's been going on and on and on. And you know what? For the layman football fan like us, it seems so simple. Just go and address it. And we're wasting time on the Raphinhas of this world, Vlahovic's of this world, players that that either don't really want to come or you're not really serious about getting. If you've spent 65, 70 mil on the likes of Ben White and Ramsdale, right? This is an attacking player. It's an attacking player. You're going to pay more for an attacking player. And I think people underrate Raphinha. He's, 25? I think you're going to see the best of him at Chelsea. I hope I'm wrong on this one, but I don't think I will be. No?
Yeah, he will do well at Chelsea, because in Chelsea he will have Champions League football. We can argue that he will play with better players. He certainly will play under a better manager.
The only saving grace is I'm not sure we entirely needed to spend that much on a winger if you've got other issues elsewhere. That's the only thing, right? That's the only thing I could think of. But right now I'm hearing excuses. Why didn't we sign Bissouma? Court case. Okay, fair enough. We take that. Some people, why didn't we sign Bissouma? Oh, because our first choice is Tielemans. Okay, I'll take that. We'll see. Tielemans, what's going on? Oh, hold on. We're calling on him. Who are we in for? Martinez. Why are we in for Martinez? Do we need him? I'm not sure. Who do we go and get? Vieira. Where did that come from? Do we need him? Attacking midfield. Okay, we need the quality to break teams down. I get that. So you got one more in, but now we're going for Raphinha as well. No mention of another striker. No mention of cover for Partey. No mention of a box-to-box midfielder as of yet. It could be Arsenal do things like you see with Vieri, don't know about it, and bang, it happens. I don't know. But what we're doing here is we're airing our concerns. Our concerns are we either waste time going for the wrong types, don't go in hard when we do see somebody and identify it. Some people were saying you low ball first. Don't agree with you. Not if you're playing on the back foot when you've got no Champions League and Chelsea are behind you, Tottenham are behind you, all sniffing down around the same players. If you've got a chance of grabbing someone, grab them and get out. And that's my concern, is the way we go about business. You know, so some people were even saying on here, Raphinia never wanted to come to Arsenal. So let's just move on. Well, if that's true, Penny, for the guy, then why did we waste time? You're telling us to move on. I'd rather not have heard about it. I'd rather have heard about players that we do actually need and do actually want to come to us. So what's your point? It's
all listen, it's all very interesting because some of the moves is baffling.
Yeah.
It's confusing, you know. You sit down and you think, surely this, that, the other, but something else happens. So I understand that we've got to wait and see what will happen to end of the season, but it's not, unless they will do something out of the bag where we're not hearing about.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for, because the names we're hearing are not names that look at the end of the last season, bro. And I'll ask all you guys in the chat here. At the end of last season, what did you assume in your mind we needed to take this team forward to the next levels? Let us know in the chat. She and I asked you.
Yeah, I thought 2 good strikers.
Right.
Because I thought Nketiah will leave.
100%. 2 strikers. Yeah. I agree.
Back up for Thomas Partey, back up for Kieran, back up for Tomiyasu, and potentially an upgrade on Granit Xhaka.
Well, in a sense of a number like a 8 box to box rather than
an upgrade on Granit Xhaka.
Yeah. All right. So an 8, right? Someone like a Tielemans or someone like that. Yeah. So look. This is exactly what I thought. End of last season, I said 2 strikers, 2 central midfielders. Yeah. Left back cover because of what happened to Tierney, and a better right back cover, and like a number 8. That's 5 players. That's what we were saying. 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, we've started the season. We've started the window with, or the rumour mills with, we're going for Tielemans. Okay, I could have lived with that. Tick that off. That's the number 8. But I still want a Partey cover. There's not been one mention of a Partey cover since this window has opened. Not one. Bissouma went very easily, 25 mil. You know what? People talking about money here, right? Other than the court case aside, which if proven true, I wouldn't want him at my club. I'll tell you that. But I don't see Levy signing somebody thinking that he's going to go under and he's a rapist or he's whatever the allegations are. I don't really want to get into it. But
I agree.
25 million. You're talking about Arsenal worried about spend and this, that. 25 million addresses that issue. Bang. One hit. Then you could go and find a box-to-box type in Tielemans. Look, Tielemans 25 million, Bissouma 25 million, 50 million solves your centre mid problem. 50 million. What you paid for White, you sort out your centre mid problem. How can we not look at that? Imagine that. 50 million solves your centre mid problem. Then you could sell someone like Xhaka on for 10 or whatever it is you get. You get 10 of that back. Right? Done. Dusted. Finito. Then you can look at your strikers with Jesus. That's 95 when he signs for 45. I think the figures be tatted around is about 150. You can find cover for Tierney. You can find cover for Tomiyasu. And you're done. It's as simple as that. So I don't know what we're looking at. Wayne, again, bro, thank you, man. You know, we might not agree, bro, but, you know, I've got utmost respect for you. You say a backup for Tierney, Martinez covers. Yeah, we agree. Martinez does cover that. But when you say he covered CDM, no one's actually seen him play in that role. I mean, but look, if that is their solution to it, you still don't have that number 8, Wayne, do you? You still don't have that dynamic box-to-box, do you?
No, the problem with that, Wayne, is I'd rather us go and get a proper replacement for Thomas Partey and a proper left back, specialist in each position, Because if you get both of them injured, like imagine if you have another scenario that Tierney and Thomas Partey, they get injured at the same time. Who is he going to cover? And that is possible.
It is. Look at Nathan Hunt. Like, his surname
Then
rhymes
again,
with a
it's
word.
not Football Manager.
His surname like rhymes with another word that I wouldn't even go there and say. But like, bro, if you don't agree, just say so. You don't have to be an idiot about it. Like, look at this, capitals, like shouting. It sounds like you're complaining as well, bro. You come on this show, watch us, and complain about it. Next. Anyway. Look, it's not complaining. It's analysis of your team. We are passionate about our team. We are fans. We all do this. We do it at home. We do it on the phone with your mates. You do it via email. You do it in your WhatsApp groups. This is just another way of doing it. Like, you know, we did this when COVID hit. And you know what? It saved us. It saved a lot of people. So don't be an idiot. If you don't want to come on here, you don't like our opinions, simple, just log off, bro. No one's stopping you. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, fact is, what I'm trying to get across to this fan base is right now we've been getting excited about a lot of nothing. A lot of nothing. A lot of pictures going around, a lot of how great this window is, but really in the cold light of day, we've signed potentially Jesus now. We've got an attacking midfielder, and we've got Martinez, and we've got Trusty, and we've got Turner. Have we addressed our main issues? No, we haven't. So I'm sorry if you feel that that's complaining, but that is facts. Right now, as it stands, the areas that let us down last season, other than Jesus up front, we're one injury away to reverting back to Nketiah up front, one injury away to reverting back to El Neni and Xhaka in midfield, or Lokonga inexperienced, and one injury away from reverting back to either a very inconsistent Tavares and a very inconsistent Cedric. So 100%. Is that complaining, or is that not what the management team would do at the end of next season?
Listen, sometimes, Lev, I think irrespective of what Edu and Arteta do, you just can't criticize them. The minute you say something that is a bit of criticism to them, you have a problem. And I've seen that quite a few. There's a lot of people on Twitter and on Instagram that they're just like, oh yeah, you know, if he doesn't want to come to Arsenal, then so be it. You know, we don't want. But you're missing the point that we could have had these players had we not cocked up the top four running last season. People forgot about that already. I still haven't. I'm still pissed about that Newcastle game and the Tottenham game. Now, how can you go to these games knowing what's at stake, how important these games are, and you go and flop like that? The players and the managers. And people will say, oh, move on, get over it, it's finished. But no, I'm not. Why? Why should I? Because the same thing will happen again next season. You know it will happen.
Listen, there's people on here, rightly so, saying, look, it's early days. It is early days. But at the same time, we've been here before, right? And anyone here, I like, other than last season, which was a decent window for one decent window from a very long line of poor ones, please tell me why I shouldn't be looking here and judging and questioning. That's what fans do. Like, when did this stupidness come into play that fans do not have a right to question their team or judge a window or expect certain things? This has happened since the dawn of time, but suddenly it's wrong to have an opinion or to think, you know what, I don't trust my team to do the right thing because they're not putting out the right messages right now. Look at this guy here. I'll give a classic one here. Dave Jordan says, Spurs are one injury away from Dane Scarlett's up front. What's your point? Dave, if I wanted to support Spurs and win nothing, I would have done that. Right? I chose my team many, many years ago in the 80s. And, okay, they weren't always winning things. But what they stood for stood out for me. And that has been lost over time, in my opinion. We don't do things the way we used to do things. Don't compare us to Spurs. That's just ridiculous, mate. Like, have a word with yourself. No? So, look, all I'm saying is this. Right now, everyone's been saying we're signing all these players. Suddenly, cold light of day, we're back to just Jesus, Vieira, and Marquinhos with a backup goalie, right? The main areas, the most important areas, are still to be addressed. 2 central midfielders, need another centre forward. Are we going to do that? That's the question. I don't think we are. So if we don't, and Jesus gets injured next season, you'll all be on here complaining with us that we're relying on Eddie Nketiah, who maybe hasn't scored in 5 games. Why the hell didn't we sort that out in the transfer window? You know, there's too much going on for me that's made of excuses. The Bruno one made no sense. The Bissouma one made no sense other than excuses about court case. And now this makes no sense. The Vlahovic one didn't make any sense. Why are you wasting time if you don't think players are going to come to you?
These are the things that will potentially come back to haunt us. You know, we'll go through a season. You know, I'm sure, you know, Bissouma will be a really good signing for Tottenham, right? And then we're going to look back on it and think, well, we should have done that when we had the chance. He could have done X, Y, Z, especially if we don't sign the centre midfield, especially. But as people say, and I agree to a certain extent, there's still time. There's still time to sort things out. Do I have confidence that they will do it or not? Is a different matter. And that was essentially my argument with Mo. Because Mo was saying that Arsenal will sign another striker on top of Gabriel Jesus. They will sign a quality midfielder. They will sign that Martinez guy for left back position. And what else? Yeah, and that was it. And I said, I don't think they will do that on top of all of these things that you're saying. And I just don't think they will address the issue. Sorry. And the replacement for Thomas Partey, that's the one that I missed out. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what's happening.
Right, look at this, yeah, from Hugh. Xhaka's not leaving the team, so we only signing one midfielder. And you know what, Hugh? The sad thing is, I agree with you. I don't think Xhaka will go. And this is where, you know, come on. The combination of Xhaka and El Neni has got us nowhere for 5 or 6 years. Why would you then have that as your core element to your main team? Like your team, that's your engine room. So what you're going to do, you've got one quality engine, and if that engine goes, you've got a couple of Fiat Puntos to put in there. Don't make sense. If you want quality, you want to finish up high in the league, you've only just missed out. You've only just missed out. Had you addressed it in January, you wouldn't have missed out. And if you address it now, you might still make up for what happened last season. But every season that goes by now, we're falling behind again because these bigger teams are
Listen, we're in a very difficult position now, Lev, because not only other teams that we're supposed to be competing with have improved significantly, they've addressed the issues that they needed to. We've signed alternatives, right? As I said to you, Liverpool and Man City are clear, right? I think Man City with Haaland, it will be a completely different kettle of fish, right? Liverpool lost Mane, but they got Darwin Núñez. They've got Jota, Salah, still a decent strike force, right? Trent Alexander-Arnold, who will supply them. Then you go Tottenham, Kane, Son, Kulusevski, and then in midfield they've got now Bissouma, Bentancur, who was all right in the second half of the season. They're looking at a couple of other players. Chelsea, they got rid of Lukaku, who was not really doing it. It looks like they're going to get Raphinia and Raheem Sterling. That's an improvement.
Yep.
Right.
Already
so straight away, all of these teams, right? If Chelsea do finalize these signings, all these 4 teams will score more goals than us if we don't address that problem as well. So people need to understand and look at these things before you saying, oh, they're doing really good, we're happy, oh, we should have got X, Y, Z, oh, you know, Nketiah will be good for us, you know, give him a chance. Look what the competition is doing. Look at the caliber of the players they're getting in. And we're saying, oh, Nketiah is good, let's give him a chance. He's going to prove everybody wrong.
Someone in here, I think it's that Jordan fella again, said, I think it's Dave Jordan, said, Eddie Nketiah had a great under-21 record. He's a good player. So, you know, stop hating. I don't hate. I hope he does well. I really do. But this is top-level Premier League, yeah? If you want your team to get back to top 4, challenging for titles, winning Champions Leagues, all that jazz, you remember what the Invincibles team was. Where would Nketiah have ever come anywhere near that Invincibles team? Anywhere near it. he wouldn't even have been in the reserves. He wouldn't have even been in the squad. So, like, I don't understand the comparison there. We're not saying Eddie's a bad player. Listen, to play at his level, you've got to be good. You've got to be good to play at his level, but he's not top level.
I'm gonna ask you something, yeah? And I want everybody in the comments as well to reply. Just a yes or a no. Right? Would Eddie Nketiah get into team or play as a backup, right? For the following teams: Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, Leicester, who else? Wolves even.
No.
This 5 or 6 teams, there's 6, 7 teams. Can you answer me, yes or no? Would Nketiah get into these teams or play as a backup? Look, it's already just full of no's in there. So it tells you
that he plays under 21s really well. So that's good enough, apparently. Apparently that's good enough. You know, that's good enough. I don't understand that, Dave. I don't.
Well, everybody is saying no.
It just does an under 20. Listen, there's footballers historically that have been ridiculous in under 21s, scoring goals for fun and don't cut it at top level. How are you comparing under 21s to like the big leagues, the main leagues? It's ridiculous. Like, I don't get where. If they wanted to sign him, we should have sold him, Dave. Dave is saying we should have sold him. You know, they wanted to buy him. Look at that. You're talking about Palace. You're comparing. Look where Palace are, and you're talking about West Ham, who are vying to try and get regular top 6, top 7. But I think he would have been backup to their main striker. I don't think he would have taken the striker's position at West Ham. Do you? Do you think he would have gone up front ahead of their striker at West Ham? No chance.
No, I don't think so. I'll tell you what, if Arsenal if they have money to spend, and if they have any ambitions, they should go for this Bowen guy at West Ham. He will do good on right-hand side. He's a decent player.
West Ham ain't going to sell him. West Ham ain't going to sell him. And
so if they have money and they have ambitions, listen, every player is available for sale. It's just about if you can pay the price. Saka is available for sale. Martinelli is. Saliba is. Everybody is available for sale. You think if somebody comes in, £100 million for Saka, you think Arsenal, at least they will listen to it. That is the minimum.
This was my question. It was always baffling me why we were looking at Raphinha, right? Do you think they were potentially looking at him thinking, what? Well, we can get Raphinha for maybe 55, 60 mil, keep Saka for another season, has a really good season, someone comes in, offers him 150 mil, ta-da, see you later, we've got Raphinha.
I don't think somebody will pay 150 million pounds for Saka.
Well, he's only 19, man. If he has a banging season next season,
I still don't think 150 million pounds. Maybe 100, 110, maybe.
No, whatever.
But not that. Plus, listen, Saka is one of. There's a lot of justification that needed to sell Saka. So it's going to be a hard sell for Arsenal. And listen, when have we ever demanded that sort of figure for a player?
Right,
and stick to our guns.
Dave's throwing in. Listen, I'm trying to avoid Dave today. Like Dave's comments, he scored more goals than Timo Werner. Well, whoop-de-doos. He scored more goals than someone who had a horrendous season and couldn't hit a barn door. Well done, brilliant.
You know what? I saw something on Twitter, Lev. Somebody put Saka's stat last season against Raphinha. Saka arguably had the better stats.
Listen, as I said, I'm going to say it again. If we had no link to a winger this season, having just got Vieira in, right? He's an attacking midfielder. You could play either side. Why do we then need another one? Why did we even go in for him? I would have been happier not to have been linked with him and get your 2 centre midfielders in, get your 2 fullback situations sorted, and get a striker. Simple. That's all you needed to do. Why are we faffing around? I don't understand it. Anyway, get your questions in. We've got about 10, well, maybe 15 minutes to go. Nick, are you skiving off work again? If so, hello, bro. Let us know your questions. We've got 10, 15 minutes to go. Let us know your questions in regards to Raphinha, regards to whatever else you want us to discuss. And look, we are not saying we know everything. In fact, We know just as much as you guys do. We don't know anything other than what we're guessing as fans. We are just fans. We're not in the knows. We don't have links inside the club. Anyone who says any of that crap, I don't have time for it. Right? So just ask the questions you want us to ask, and we'll do our best to answer it. And straight in, Dave Jordan. Do you want to have a look at it, Shaheen?
Read it out.
You just said we don't score enough goals. Why wouldn't we try and sign a goal-scoring winger? Dave, why wouldn't we try and sign a striker that actually scores goals? Just to put it out there. Like, Shaheen, do you want to answer that?
You just said we don't score enough goals. Why would you try and sign a goal-scoring winger? What am I supposed to say to that?
Why not get a striker?
Because they've already committed to Nketiah.
And they brought Vieira in. So why do you need a winger? Just asking. Why not sign Zaha instead of Pepe? I mean, like, you know, it's all ifs and buts. Benjamin Gunner, thank you for your support, bro. Not sure what's that currency? Do you know what it is? Knock 50.
I think that's Norwegian.
Oh, cheers, bro. Thanks for your support. So you lot think 3 wingers is enough when we have Europa, and all cups? I don't even count Pepe. Arteta will never play him. Good window, really. Never said it was a good window, bro. Oh, I'm in agreement with you. 3 wingers. Listen, are you counting? Who's the 3 wingers? You've got Martinelli. You're not counting Pepe. That's Saka. Who else have we got? Smith Rowe, but he's not really a winger. Let's be honest.
No, but he's been rated wing.
Yeah, but he's not a winger.
Are we counting Pepe as well?
No, we're not. We got Vieira in now. Now, look, I'm not saying 3 wingers are enough, bro, but I'm saying address the areas that are your main issues first. And, you know, I would have got rid of Eddie for, you know, when we had a chance with Palace for 20 million and use that towards a winger if you really want a winger and get a striker this season. So,
yeah. Should we go through some of these quite quickly?
Go on.
What was it now? Let's start from top. Hold on.
Well, Ziyech is going, isn't he?
Right. So let's try to answer this quickly so we can get through as much as possible.
Go.
How do you feel about All or Nothing trailer?
Excited, but also dubious that Arsenal will allow them to really tell the truth.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see what we're looking to see, basically. Why don't we get a manager who knows how to attack? Oh, I thought that was a question.
Well, it is. Why don't we get a manager who knows how to attack? That's a question.
Let me see all the questions.
Not sure about that, bro. I mean, does he not know how to attack? Listen, in his defense, he didn't have the best of situations forward-wise last season.
Nick, go on, Dev. Do you want to...
Who's getting dropped at Chelsea? Raphinha. Trouble ahead in the Chelsea dressing room? No, because I've heard they're getting rid of some players. I wouldn't be surprised if they did get rid of Timo Werner. I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard they're getting rid of Ziyech as well. Is they not got rid of him already?
One signing, who do you want?
One signing, who do I want? Oh, flipping hell. We need more than one signing. But if I only had an option for one signing right this second, with what else we've got right now, I'd go and get the best central midfielder I could find.
I'll get Ndidi.
What's your new infatuation with Ndidi?
I just think he's a quality player, man. He will do a job for us.
Fair dues.
Why can't Arsenal close deals before other teams jump into the race?
Because they like to lowball and try to negotiate, but they're negotiating from a stance where they're not strong.
Yeah. Would you take Ziyech?
We were linked with him, weren't we, before he went to Chelsea?
Yeah.
Do not be surprised if you see that. If we're going for Raphinha and they've just got Raphinha in and they're letting Ziyech go, do not be surprised. But then you'll have the issue of Ziyech is probably very well paid at Chelsea. So,
Fitz has come in. I hope you're good, man. Why do our fan base constantly excuse failure? It's a really good question, man. You need the whole show for this, Fitz. Why our fan base accept what's going on at the club right now.
As in, when did the shift happen where a fan base that expected nothing less than 4th and wasn't even happy with it and wanted us to challenge for titles, when did it happen that suddenly we're happy with 8ths and this and that and the other? When did that happen? That mind shift? Let us know in the chats your thoughts on that. That's a very interesting show, actually, content-wise.
Yeah.
1 minute we're not even accepting 4th, the next minute we're accepting an 8th and telling everybody to calm down and take the time. What? When did this happen? Any other questions? No? No excuses. Livandro Arteta made all his own issues. Yeah, bro. Listen, there's a lot of people shouting my name, Lev, but not actually asking any questions. Any more questions? You got a few minutes before we decide to go. There we go. We've got one here. Dave Jordan again. Accept failure or just realistic enough to know 15 years of rubbish can't be turned around in a couple of years. No, but it could be turned around in 15 years. You don't do 15 years of rubbish. What you do is you spend that 15 years trying to move things forward in the right way. We clearly haven't done that. Now you want us to forget those 15 years and go, oh, okay, the 15 years prior, we should forget about it because you can't turn the Titanic around immediately and we should expect more dross. So maybe wait until 20 years before we fix it. The reason we have these continual failures is every year we do the same thing. Every year we don't address the same areas. Every year we leave ourselves 2 or 3 players short. But then you want us to trust this process when we don't have that trust right now. We don't. And you shouldn't be blaming us for not having the trust. You should be blaming the club that we support for us losing trust with our club in the sense of doing dealings. Simple. No? Am I wrong? Let us know in the chat.
No.
I mean, imagine the club doing you dirty for 15 years, then blaming the fans for being cynical about it. Just imagine that. It's mental. Like, are you a glutton for punishment? I just don't get it. Lavandra Shaheen, love you girls. Huh? It's the year 2022. Fax says people here, look, it's been going for just almost an hour now. If there's nothing else going on, I'm bored of seeing Dave Jordan's ridiculous comments. Not that I've got any issues with you, bro, but I don't agree with a lot of the stuff you said today at all. You seem to be making a lot of excuses. Listen, I want my team to do well. The window is still open. It's not the end of the world. We can address it. The question is, will we? That's the question we are asking. We've said what we need. I think most of you agreed. Let's see if our guys do it. Question coming from TJ Mack. Now we have Jesus secured. Do you think we could play Serge the big bucks now? Pay Serge big bucks now as we. Well, this is one thing. Good question, TJ Mack. One person was suggesting we might be looking to get a cut price deal on Gnabry because he's having a fallout with Bayern Munich right now, isn't he? They're threatening that if he stays without signing a new contract, they might put him in the stands. He's not willing to do that because obviously the World Cup's looming, I'm guessing. He wants to play. So, look, these are good players to get. Players that need to play and play well to get into the World Cup team. They've got no choice but to perform. So that's why I like the Jesus signing. Raphinha would have wanted to get into the Brazilian international team. You know, Gnabry's going to want to play for Germany, I'm sure. So I don't know. Who knows, mate? He might be a bit too rich for their blood, I guess. Not sure. You know, but that's it, guys. I mean, look, we're not here to complain. We're only talking about what's going on out there. For the last week, all you've seen is Raphinha, Martinez, Tielemans, Raphinia. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of gassing by our fan base. But when you look at it factually, we haven't signed anybody outside of Jesus, Vieira, and Marquinhos, and that's it. So stop getting so gassed. Wait and see what they're going to do. We don't have the trust in them. We really don't. I don't trust them. Let's see. Let's hope they prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Arsenal. That's what I want. Prove me wrong, man. Prove me wrong, and I'll be more than happy. That I think we're going to call it a day now, Shaheen.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Coolio. So do you want to leave it on any notes? Anything you want to add before we go?
Hope that they carry on with spending in right places. That's all I can hope for.
Dave Jordan asked, why don't you trust Edu? Why?
What has he done for me to trust?
He's been here 1 year.
He's done a couple of good transfers.
2 years?
I'm not going to deny him that. I'm not going to deny him that. He's done a couple
He's
of
also
good things,
done some bad ones too.
The other questionable things. Yeah, there's
Well,
so many other
Willian,
questions.
he signed Willian, didn't he?
Willian, Cedric, writing off the contracts of the players,
Yeah.
not
Let me ask you, why do
acting
you trust
the
him?
manager when he should have.
Trust is earned, it's built. Why do you trust him so much so far? Question: did the guys pork themselves on your money level? Ask Mark. Shaheen did. Defo. He went and got some sort of huge steak with dry ice and shit. I don't know what that was. It looked like something. You did, didn't you? You got all this smoky stuff.
Yeah,
You want to talk
I
about
don't know where that came from, but no, it was just a ribeye steak.
Yeah, but you had the dry ice under it, innit? It was crazy.
Yeah, I
shit.
didn't know he's gonna come like that.
Yeah, well, it was balling it anyway. So look, that's it, guys. Let us know in the comments what you think in regards to Raphinha and the transfer window. Do you trust our club? Do you not trust our club? Do you think they're going to address the areas that we need addressing, or do you think they're going to leave us a couple of players short again this season? Do you trust their do like Dave Jordan does, because he seems to trust him with his life? So let's hope he's right. I hope he earns my trust, but right now the club needs to earn our trust in this window. It needs to go out and do what it said it's going to do. It's got a plan. You're not far off it. Go and execute it. Get the right players, and let's go and compete. We want that. We want to be proven wrong. Go and compete, guys. Yeah. So that's it. That's been the Arsenal Lounge. Keep an eye out for new content. If you haven't subscribed already, where you been, please subscribe. If you haven't hit the likes, do us a favor, hit the likes. We do this in the middle of lunch. I've sort of going back to work now. I'm trying to sort of get my head around things, but I'm still doing this. So at the end of the day, if you could give us a like in return, really appreciate it. We have a show coming up on Monday, I believe. It's the show that people have been asking for in regards to Mo and Mike. Discussing the transfer dealings of the Cronkies in big detail. Mo's going to be telling us why he thinks the Cronkies haven't really invested in the club, and I think Mike's got an alternate view. So keep an eye out for that. That should be Monday coming. So that's been the Arsenal Lounge. This has been Transfer Chat. That's Shaheen with his tactic board. And we're out of here. Peace out.